Several recent polls suggest that Americans are indeed on the edge following the gruesome beheadings of journalists by militant jihadists. Now, according to a new NBC Wall Street Journal poll, 47% of Americans believe the country is less safe now than before the 9/11 attack. Manny Gomez joins us. He's a retired FBI agent and the president of MG Security Services. Welcome to the show, Manny.
Thank you for having me.
The question of America being less safe, is America, in your opinion, less safe now since 9/11?
I think it's a lot safer than 9/11. Before 9/11, we had more of a reactive posture regarding terrorism. Post 9/11, we have a more proactive posture. Our intelligence services are more proactive. Certainly, our law enforcement, both domestically and internationally. I'll give you a case in point. Both the NYPD and the FBI have now a robust presence internationally. That was not the case prior to 9/11.
I have a concern, though, and some have voiced the same concern about our nation's ports. A long time, people were saying that the ports were not safe, and there was concern about the radioactive, dirty bombs getting into our country through our ports. Tell us about our port system now.
Our ports are still extremely porous, make no doubt about it. It's still a point of concern. We have tightened it up significantly in the last decade. Tens of millions of dollars have been poured into those ports in both cameras and other sorts of resources in order to ensure that those ports are as safe as possible. That being said, we have literally millions of containers coming into this country from overseas. We do not have the resources or the capacity to check every one of them.
Manny, it's been well documented that a number of attacks have been thwarted both inside and outside of this country. And of course, there are many things that go on from day to day that the average American and even us journalists don't know about. But at the same token, I guess my question to you is, what is there to stop a terrorist with a backpack coming into, say, Grand Central Station in New York City, or even perhaps detonating a bomb on the Golden Gate Bridge? We just saw recently on the Brooklyn Bridge here in New York, right under the nose of FBI and police headquarters, what we understand might have been a German tourist putting two white flags up there. That's alarming to people.
Absolutely. That's absolutely alarming. And the case in point, we have a very good handle on the macro, the big picture, Al-Qaeda. Now we're working on ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas. We know who the players are, and we have their funding and their players basically neutralized overseas. That being said, we still are working on the lone wolf, the individual who gets radicalized, goes overseas, gets trained, gets the resources, has an American passport perhaps, or an easy access to the States, and has the capability of blowing off just what you were suggesting. That's still a huge concern that we're working on diligently. And by doing that, it's human intelligence. Informants, people that are in the community, in certain organizations that perhaps lend themselves to radicalism, and having people and resources, human intelligence in place that report back to law enforcement of anybody plotting something against us.
So far, so good. 13 years later, no major attacks. We can only hope and pray that that continues. Manny, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right.